All right, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Wow, easy to record this morning after that game. Orioles cruise, easy. So many different things to talk about. But from a gambling perspective, I feel like my bets yesterday, it's perfect for, frankly, the theme of the company and the message I'm trying to get across. Because as hard as I try and as much as I want people to be successful betting on sports, I really think a lot of it's luck, a lot of it's 50-50 games. And it's like throwing cold water when you go 3-0, like I did yesterday, and I'm 15-1 in the last 16 games. So there's so many different things that I could focus on that would, pat myself on the back. But, last night really shows that most of these games are lucky. They just are. Because when you're betting, and I really feel like it's like an easy point when you think about it, but we get lost in it because there's certain times where there's blowouts and you feel like it's an easy game. But if you really just take a step back and you're like, everybody wants to be a professional athlete. So to make it to the professional level, I mean, the talent level is, you're not going to find a big gap. Very rarely do you find a big gap at professional sports or Division 1 baseball, basketball, football. It's hard. So when you get a blowout like you do yesterday with the Orioles -1, that's great. That's the pat on the back. That makes you feel good. And there's always a couple games like that every single night, every single sport. And that's why sports betting, it's a big tease, because if you find the easy games and if somebody's making it sound like they're always picking winners, you don't necessarily factor in how much luck goes into it. So I just want to walk through, in case you didn't see it, but in case you did, but you didn't realize how my bets played out. Spend a few minutes talking about why yesterday was so lucky. Just because I think that's the best way to approach sports betting. I want to be successful. I want everybody to, but because I'm not selling anything, it's actually much more liberating to just be honest. If I was selling something, I would talk about the games yesterday differently. But I think it's cool to say, man, I was 3-0, but it was this close to being 1-2. So starting with Burns, the prop bet is under 1.5 for walks. He gets one walk early. Sixth inning rolls around, and boom, he's goes right through it. We're winning 10-1, 9, whatever the score is, 8-1 or 8-0. I think at that point, right? He hasn't given up the run, gets through 6 innings, everything's great. Seventh inning comes around, they bring him out. He had 84, 85 pitches. Good for the Orioles, not great for my prop bet, because it's like, yeah, Burns should probably come out, save the bullpen, but now I got another chance to give up a walk and lose the bet. So comes out, first two guys, gets him out, gives up a home run, and then Hyde comes out. And I'm like, all right, it's 8-1 and probably better this way. Take him out. Perfect. I win the bet. And instead, Hyde gives him the go ahead to get the last batter out. And as an Orioles fan, I think universally you're happy with that, because that's, one of the bigger criticisms on Hyde. He didn't let Grayson finish the other night. He didn't let Bradish. So some people, when Brash had the no hitter, some people, whatever. I don't want to talk about it too much, but some people want him to leave him out more. Great, fine. Anyway, in that particular situation, I get the logic. Let him finish it; it'll be good. But I got under 1.5 walks. Now he's got a chance to walk this guy, and it's the fat Vogelback, whatever his name is. Anyway, it's a 3-1 count, and Brad Brock doing the game, relief pitcher. And you give Brad Brock is great, by the way. I think he's going to be around for a long time. He does a great job. He says exactly what I'm thinking, which is, it's your last batter. What do you say? Just let him hit the ball. You don't want to walk the last guy. Just throw it down the middle. If he hits it, he hits it, and the guy rips it, for an out. But it was a 3-1 count. So at that point, yeah, he walks him. I lose the bet. Instead, it's a fly out. I survive it. End of the story. Win that game, or win that bet. And then Santander, the very next inning, I think it was the very next inning, or is it inning before? Can't remember at this point, but it was the same, basically same 50-50 situation. Orioles at first and second with no outs. Mounty hits into a double play. So now works out perfectly for my bet, because Santander's 0 for 3. Gunner's on third. I need a hit and I need an RBI. So infield hit, I'll get Gunner home, and whatever. So I'm just like playing in my head. What could possibly happen here? Because O'Hearn had an infield single last night for me to win, and I'm like, all right, um, whatever. Let's see if we can pull this out. And then it gets to a 3-1 count. But Pop, the pitcher for the Jays, he just what he give up a hit and a walk, then he got the double play, and he's the last thing he wants to do is walk Santander. It's probably going to be his last batter. He's throwing a decent amount of pitches, whatever's going through his brain, and he does the same thing Burns does, which is throw the ball right down the middle. Except Santander smashes it. I win both bets. Right? He gets a RBI single. I go 3-0. And in this business, and when I say this business, the business of selling picks, because at the end of the day, because there's still a fee to subscribe to the company and to see the picks that I'm giving out and the picks that other people that I bring on board, you know, I want to be able to make sure I'm clearly separating myself from the people that sell picks. And when you sell picks, there's an upsell. That's the difference. So the price that I have to be a subscriber, there's no more lock of the week or lock of the year or college football package or NFL package or anything else to buy. There never will be. That's just the decision I've made um, after what everything that's happened. I've evaluated, I thought about it, and I just think the best way to help people is to say, this is the fee for the month, for the year. If you want to pay it, great. If you don't, you don't have to. Good luck to you. But if you pay it and you listen and you follow and you get the emails and you get the messages on Telegram and all that jazz, no matter how well anybody does, you will never have to pay more money for something else. I'm not gonna that's the change in the company. And therefore I want to point out that people that sell picks doesn't mean every single person that sells picks is a bad person. I don't think that. I just think that you should know what you're getting yourself into because you can't make money selling picks unless you're constantly selling something because you have to spend too much money for advertising and marketing that if you don't have an upsell package, you literally can't make a profit. So that's why that whole industry revolves around get you in the door, something very cheap, something very inexpensive. It could be free, whatever it is to get you to start listening. And then when I go on a run, when I feel like I can make a good sales pitch, maybe there's a game that's easy to explain that it's fixed, or you have inside information, or whatever marketing tool they want to use. Once I have your attention, it's hard to get away from that. So when you're listening to me or following it, you at least have the comfort of knowing there's never an upsell. So no matter what, win or lose, you can't buy anything else here. And that's why, frankly, I know I'm rambling a little bit and then I'll get out of here, but that's why it's been harder to find people to bring on board. I could bring on 50 different people by now. Like that would be easy to have people on here to give out picks. Like that's not what I'm looking for. Because those people are going to require you guys to pay more money. Like that's usually the conversation I'm having, which is Ryan, I'll give you these picks for free, but I want to draw traffic to my company. I can't do that because that goes against what we're doing. So even my last partner, when we were doing it, that's what attracted me initially is there's no upsell. And that's the one thing that, when we started the company and we can't hit a certain total, we give it to you complimentary, whatever. I don't want to go too far backwards, but the whole industry is designed to say, buy the picks for this price. And if we win, then it's going to cost more. And if we lose, there's some sort of gimmick or sad story or whatever to try to keep you on board. And I feel so much better that that's the complete opposite now of what I'm doing. So anytime I go on a long winning streak, I'll probably use that as the opportunity to brag about the direction of my company rather than the winning streak. Because at the end of the day, I haven't met anybody that wins at a high enough level that I would recommend anybody to follow. And I've met a ton of people. I've been doing this for a long time. So that's really what this comes down to. It's a lot of luck involved, and that's why it should be entertainment. If you can get on a run like I'm going on right now, the last thing you want to do, and this is going to be my final point for the day. The last thing you want to do when you're on a run like I'm on is bet more money. Like that's the complete when we talk about money management, you'll hear that a lot. Money management, money management. That's going to be a main focus when I get into football season. But money management's like a twisted term, risk management, where it sounds good and makes you sophisticated when you like talk about it if you talk really fast. But what the hell does it really mean? And to me, what money management means is what are your actual goals? And if you didn't establish goals, financial goals of how much money you're trying to make, you'll get lost. So if you're saying, hey, I've won whatever, I'm just gonna pick some round numbers here. If I've gone 15-1 and my average bet's $100 and I've profited, whatever, do the math plus the juice, factor it in. Let's just say I'm up $1,000 or so. If the next bets I make go up to $300, $400, what would be the point of that? Like, is it because I now think I have such a better opinion I can make money betting on sports? Because in my thought is I've already established how much I can lose. So let's say the most I can lose is 5,000, and that's the number I picked for 6 months, and I'm up 1,000. What I really should be saying to myself is now I can be, man, now I got 6,000 to play with because it's entertainment. That's the difference between I should be betting more money because then you convince yourself that you have a better opinion. And now if you go on a losing streak, you almost feel like, well, now I should bet more because I'm due for a win. And all of a sudden you've lost your principles. So my betting strategy, and I'll share with you guys, I don't mind sharing the exact amount when it comes to it because hopefully it helps. But I will bet if I'm going to bet on a football game and it'll be an NFL playoff game, it'll be at least $10,000, at least, or I will not bet. So I need or I'll do what I'm doing now, $50, $20, $30, very little money, depending on what the juice is. I basically factor in, to keep myself, whenever you're betting something, you hold yourself accountable. So that's the logic by me doing it. But the truth is, the money's insignificant. It win or lose, it's not really that big of a deal. What's a big deal is when I decide, hey, I love this game. I want to bet $15,000, $20,000 on the game. And my recommendation to people is like, if that's how you feel, I don't think that's the worst thing to do. I don't know if it's the best thing to do, but it's a free country. You do what you want to do, but you have to have logic behind it. There has to be, well, if I lost that bet, am I allowed to go bet the next playoff game? Because in my head or in my world, the answer is no. That's why I wait till the playoffs. So instead of having a $10,000 to $15,000 budget for a whole season and betting maybe $300 to $500 a game and just enjoying, like, that's one way to do it, but that's not fun for me. I don't want to do it that way. I'd rather not be emotional, make a few bets before the NFL season so I have stuff to root for. And then if I feel strongly in a wild card divisional, when I know it's do or die, when I know that there's no funny business going on as far as resting players or anything that involves contracts or something that's hard to analyze, it's all about who's the better team. That's when I want to bet. That's so anyway, I just feel like the best way I can help people is that's what I'm doing. I have rules. Just make your own rules because there's no right rules. But if you don't have rules for yourself, you're gonna get fucking killed. You will get killed betting on sports because if you don't have a limit, if you don't have discipline, and that's the whole point of the company is to really help people have their own money management, discipline, strategy to enjoy betting on sports. All right, end of rant. Tomorrow I'm doing finals preview. I guess the slight preview to my preview is everything revolves around Luka, which makes my life difficult to figure out because I want to bet on it. I think I'm going to bet on it, but I don't know how to analyze this objectively because I cannot stand him. Like I think he's so good. It's like LeBron. I feel like I'm living this all over again. I cannot stand LeBron. Root against him, root against him, root against him. Best player. I guess he's been the best player, LeBron, for like 10 years almost. Like that's insane if you think about it. Like being the best player because anyway, Luka's now because Giannis and Jokic, when you have an unrealistic body, and I guess LeBron's body is unrealistic too, it takes a little bit of the fun out of it because you're like, yeah, part of it is just, but Luka's body's ridiculous. I was just playing basketball the other day. The guy I'm guarding is built like Luka. I'm like, what the? Just wide, unbelievable. So I don't know. I don't know how to analyze this series without thinking, how are the Celtics planning on guarding them? How would I guard them? My strategy is to just piss them off the entire day. Just keep elbowing them, pushing them, bothering him. I don't know, getting under his skin, trying to get him to lose his temper, especially the first two games in the series when he's in Boston. Maybe he'll get too emotional. I don't know. I really legitimately don't know how to stop him except pressing him and making him work and turn. So, my last point on that is everybody's strategy to guard him has been somebody long and tall and physical. And I'm like, I think I'm better off with White and Holiday just making him dribble and turn. So what that means is whatever direction he wants to go, he has to go the different direction. Make a move, make a move, make a move. If he makes it, he makes it. But we have to tire him out. So that way, by game 6 or 7, he's just not as fresh. And that's where the Kyrie Irving piece comes in. So a lot of this reminds me of the 2016 Cavs when they beat the Warriors before Durant, where man, Kyrie's the second banana to LeBron, and it's like a very similar team. The Mavs are going to play physical on the other end. I don't, I don't know if it's going to be super low scoring, but man, I am. Yeah, I'll dive into it more, but excuse me, I'll have a firm, I guess, decision on what I'm going to do tomorrow. And I guess that's about it. Suarez is pitching today. I love Suarez's stuff. I mean, last game, work through all this crap to give us 5 innings. Like, threw a ton of pitches, got a ton of hits, and still found a way to only give up a run. We're actually the underdog. What was it? Hold on 1 second. I think it was plus 116 when I first saw it, which is just insane. I mean, the Blue Jays are one of those teams. It's like the Padres and the Mets from last year, where if you can't get off the Blue Jays, you're gonna get killed. I mean, they're because the odds haven't changed to reflect. I guess. I mean, they look like a disaster. I don't want to dance on the grave until we can beat them 2 more times here and sweep them. But let's see. Yeah, plus. Well, now it's plus 112. Barrios is pitching. I mean, he's great, Barrios, but make the Orioles an underdog here after what they did the first 2 games of the series. I find it nearly impossible for me to get off the Orioles today. So we'll see what props come up with. Good luck to everybody. A lot of early baseball games. Yeah. All right. I'll see you guys in the morning. Have a good day.